The ice cracks softly under the weight moving through the silent white. A polar bear appears like a mass of cold muscle, placing pressure on every creature within view. Without rushing too early, it still fills the surrounding space with a sense of looming threat. A single small mistake can shift the balance across the frozen surface. In that unforgiving polar world, which one will still have the chance to escape the pursuit? The polar bear is the largest land-dwelling carnivore, with massive males equipped with insulating fur and thick layers of fat that allow them to endure freezing Arctic winds. With broad paws that function like snowshoes, distributing their weight across the ice, they can swim long distances through vast stretches of open water in search of food. In the harsh world of the Arctic, every step they take stands as a clear expression of nature's extraordinary power of adaptation. During the bright summer months, the Arctic Sea breaks into scattered patches of open water. These fragile breathing holes become natural arenas within the ocean. Here, groups of beluga whale weighing around 1,400 pounds gather closely, waiting for the rhythm of the tide to surface for air and carry out their seasonal molting cycle. On the ice above, the polar bear remains concealed like a silent strategist. Positioned downwind, it focuses its power through its massive shoulders. Even with a layer of fat nearly 5 inches thick protecting the beluga beneath the cold water, they cannot remain submerged forever. The moment the surface shifts, a surge of force, measured in thousands of pounds, is released. With sheer strength, the predator pulls its target onto the slick edge of the ice, bringing a long wait to its conclusion. In other moments, tidal shifts of up to 6 feet can disrupt the attempt, turning effort into uncertainty. Yet each failed attempt sharpens instinct. Every period of waiting refines the bear's ability to read the movement of the ocean with greater precision. In the polar world, rewards do not favor impatience. Cold patience remains the true key to success across the vast Arctic Sea. Survival in the Arctic is, at its core, a harsh equation of energy. This time, the polar bear sets its focus on a formidable opponent, the walrus. These giants, weighing over 1,500 pounds, dominate coastal zones with a powerful natural defense system. A hide nearly 4 inches thick, combined with tusks reaching up to 3 feet, forms a barrier strong enough to deter most intruders. For the polar bear, a direct confrontation is rarely the favorable option, as a single misstep can quickly shift the balance. Instead of rushing in, it applies pressure through timing and positioning before relying on strength. At the right moment, the predator initiates a sudden, forceful approach. A short, heavy surge that sends a ripple of tension across the rocky shoreline. The unexpected movement causes the walrus group to rush toward the water. Within that brief moment of disruption, a true opportunity appears. The focus is not on the center of the group, but along the edges, where younger individuals, slower to react, can become separated from the protection of the herd. If the calculation is precise, the reward can reach nearly 100,000 calories, enough to help sustain the bear's critical fat reserves through lean seasons. If not, a poorly timed decision near those powerful tusks may affect its future ability to hunt. Across the vast Arctic, adaptability in strategy remains the one constant that keeps survival in motion. In the world of the polar bear, a single seal represents a major reward, but summer on land becomes a stretch of modest returns. With claws nearly 2 inches long, built to handle large prey, the bear now relies on them as its only grip while navigating steep cliffs rising over 100 feet, where thousands of seabirds gather in constant motion. Here, a harsh survival calculation takes shape. Each bird egg provides only about 150 calories, far less than the rich energy stored in a seal. To match the value of a single seal meal, the white predator must carefully collect more than 600 eggs along narrow ledges, conserving every small unit of energy with precision. At this stage, survival is no longer measured by dramatic hunts, but by patience across exposed slopes. It becomes a quiet strategy to delay hunger, allowing the bear to endure until the ice returns. In Alaska, where the edge of sea ice meets the domain of pack strategy and endurance, polar bears and gray wolf rarely engage in direct confrontation. They maintain a calculated distance, far enough to avoid major risk, yet close enough to apply constant pressure. When encounters occur, wolves tend to move along the outer perimeter, forcing the bear to stay alert and expend energy. In response, the polar bear lowers its center of gravity, turning toward the direction of pressure while minimizing exposure. Here, survival does not belong to the first move, but to the one that knows when the cost outweighs the reward. At the far edge of the planet, the Arctic offers no space for weakness. When food becomes scarce, the dominant force of the region, a male polar bear weighing over 1,500 pounds, faces a harsh decision, turning toward its own kind to survive. As wide 12-inch paws begin to accelerate across the snow, the encounter quickly intensifies. Two massive figures rise onto their hind legs, displaying raw strength while circling under mounting pressure to secure a strategic position. Low, resonant warning sounds echo across the frozen landscape, signaling a confrontation with no easy outcome. When neither side yields, they move into direct physical contact, using their immense weight, measured in thousands of pounds, to push and control space across the slick ice. The less dominant individual is often forced to withdraw, preserving its life but losing access to territory and future opportunities. This threat extends directly to the young. For a mother bear, protecting her cubs becomes the most demanding challenge she will face. Even at around 600 pounds, she is prepared to confront danger head-on, using every ounce of momentum to hold her ground. A single misstep, a shift in balance, and the natural order is tested by instinct at its most primal. This is nature operating with precision. No room for hesitation, only the calculated drive of survival that keeps life moving forward. Across the wind-swept tundra, caribou move like shadows of speed, sustaining remarkable bursts of up to 50 miles per hour. During migrations that stretch for thousands of miles, endurance serves as their primary defense. But as summer arrives, a new survival dynamic takes shape. These animals must face the ruler of the frozen domain in an uneven contest across muddy terrain. The polar bear does not pursue blindly. It remains concealed, patiently observing until a gap forms within the herd. The chosen target is an individual weighing close to 1,200 pounds. Once the distance closes, the bear releases a surge of momentum, directing the animal toward shallow water to limit its escape routes. When massive paws make contact, the rapid rhythm of the tundra suddenly falls still. In another moment, instinct becomes even more efficient when a smaller, isolated individual is encountered. The interaction unfolds quickly, where overwhelming strength leaves little room for resistance. The reward for this adaptation is a valuable source of energy, allowing the bear to build thick reserves of fat before the harsh winter returns. Across the vast white expanse of sea ice, large seal populations thrive, most notably the bearded seal and the ringed seal. Numbering in the millions, they form the living pulse of this ecosystem and the primary focus of the polar bear. Among them, the ringed seal stands out as a prime target, a biological energy reserve of about 130 pounds, storing the essential fuel needed for life in the frozen ocean. Hunting here becomes an art of patience and concealment. The bear moves with extreme slowness, minimizing all sound, then waits for hours beside narrow breathing holes. An exceptional sense of smell allows it to detect prey hidden beneath snow layers more than 3 feet thick. The slightest vibration through the ice is enough to trigger a decisive opening strike. With a success rate of only around 15%, each opportunity carries the weight of a calculated risk against the cold. In another strategy, the bear uses its strong swimming ability to approach individuals resting on the ice. It remains submerged beneath the freezing water, then surfaces suddenly at close range to gain an advantage. That element of surprise can shift the outcome within seconds. In a world of constant ice, patience and strategy remain the only keys to survival. A single burst of speed from the orca is enough to unsettle the entire surface of the sea. It hunts with explosive power, sharp intelligence, and near-perfect coordination within the pod. Each close approach drives its target into confusion before it can regain control of the situation. Across the vast ocean, very few species can generate such intense pressure. And in those waters, is there any rival capable of challenging the orca's dominance? The orca is the largest member of the dolphin family, reaching nearly 30 feet in length and weighing around 10,000 pounds, yet its true strength lies in collective intelligence. It hunts through sound, speed, and exceptionally precise coordination, maintaining constant pressure on its target. From icy waters to temperate oceans, the orca stands as a symbol of organized power and remarkable adaptability. With each appearance, it reinforces its place as one of the ocean's most formidable apex predators. The tide is the ocean's rhythm, and for the orca, it signals the start of a high-risk hunt. As rising water forms a narrow corridor along the shoreline, this predator, over 20 feet long, begins measuring each incoming wave. Its targets are sea lions weighing around 700 pounds, caught off guard near the water's edge. Hidden beneath breaking surf, an experienced individual accelerates at precisely the right moment. It launches its massive body onto the dry sand, pushing the limits of physics. This is a calculated risk. A misjudgment of just a few inches in timing could leave the hunter stranded. The instant the impact stuns the target, the orca drives its tail and uses the retreating wave to slide back into the ocean before the sand can hold it in place. Younger members watch from a distance, memorizing every inch of movement. A field lesson in absolute precision. The orca's refinement continues when facing stingrays, creatures equipped with defensive spines up to 8 inches long. Without unnecessary force, the orca delivers a controlled tail motion that generates a powerful surge of water, flipping the opponent over. This action places the stingray into a state of tonic immobility, leaving it unable to respond. From the shores of Argentina to the depths of the open ocean, the orca operates through a seamless blend of biological knowledge and mastery over water dynamics. In the cold waters of the North Pacific, black and white shadows slice through the sea at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. This is no casual movement, but a coordinated force of 10 orcas preparing for a full-scale confrontation. Their target? A fully grown humpback whale weighing up to 80,000 pounds, nearly 7 times heavier than the largest predator in the pod. Under the lead of the matriarch, the assault begins as the pod splits into multiple attack lines, surging forward like torpedoes. They drive directly into the giant's flanks, attempting to disrupt its balance. In response, the humpback twists its massive body and swings its 15-foot tail, sending towering waves into the air. That precise strike delivers an immense impact, comparable to a heavy vehicle collision, enough to throw any opponent off balance and strip away control. Yet the orcas rely on exceptional agility to evade this powerful defense. Taking turns, they surge onto its back, using thousands of pounds of force to press it downward, limiting its ability to surface for air. After hours of relentless struggle, the ocean surface churns with white foam and echoes that carry through the depths. Here, survival is not determined by raw strength alone, but by endurance in one of the most demanding tests of stamina in the ocean. Each year, one of the greatest migrations on the planet begins, stretching over 12,000 miles from the icy polar regions. It is a journey shaped by survival, where a gray whale mother weighing 90,000 pounds must guide her newborn calf, just 2,000 pounds, across the ocean's most dangerous passages. Beneath the deep blue waters, every mile is not just distance, but a relentless test of protective instinct. The stillness of open waters often conceals unseen threats. A pod of orcas emerges like shadows, accelerating up to 30 miles per hour and generating powerful wave surges. The encounter intensifies into a prolonged physical struggle that can last from 2 to 6 hours. Rather than acting without direction, the orcas apply coordinated high-pressure tactics. Similar to their approach against humpback whales, they divide into groups to steer movement and take advantage of brief moments when the calf drifts beyond the mother's protective range. Their advantage does not come from size, but from disciplined teamwork and precise control of space. Across the vast ocean, only those who endure to the very end earn the chance to see the light of the next day. Amid the harsh drift ice of Antarctica, seals seek temporary safety on frozen strongholds. With thick layers of blubber and weights reaching up to 1,200 pounds, they are highly rewarding targets, yet extremely difficult to reach. But for a pod of orcas, this is not an ordinary chase. It is a carefully executed operation, carried out with precision down to the inch. The orcas begin using the wave-washing technique with the discipline of a special operations unit. The adults spread out in a horizontal line, holding just a few feet of distance from the target. At an unspoken signal, they surge forward in unison, driving their tails to generate a massive wall of water. The artificial wave crashes in with the force of thousands of pounds, causing a slab of ice about 3 feet thick to pitch violently. If the target still holds on, the pod pulls back, reforms its line, and recalculates the angle of approach with extremely little margin for error, preparing a second wave with even greater force. Only when the frozen refuge gives way and the seal falls into the water does the final enclosure fully take shape, leaving almost no chance of escape. In Antarctica, collective intelligence turns waves into a highly refined hunting tool for the pod known as the wolves of the sea, orcas. It brings not only survival, but also a living chain of knowledge, passing some of nature's greatest survival secrets from one generation to the next. For decades, the great white shark has stood as the ultimate symbol of oceanic power. A muscular fortress weighing around 5,000 pounds, moving at speeds of up to 25 miles per hour, and equipped with an extraordinary bite force. With highly refined senses and a solitary hunting style, it can turn vast stretches of water into zones of constant tension. But that order is being challenged by a more strategic force. When a pod of orcas arrives, the hunt does not begin with chaos, but with a calculated encirclement. They quietly press from multiple angles, redirect movement, and tighten the formation with the precision of a coordinated unit. At the exact moment, one orca delivers a direct impact, rolling the massive opponent onto its back. Instantly, the shark enters a state of tonic immobility, a neurological shutdown that leaves it unresponsive. The focus then shifts to a concentrated energy source, weighing around 1,000 pounds, one of the richest reserves found in nature. As control of the waters shifts, a clear message emerges. Instinct may create a hunter, but strategy is what sustains power. In this contest of survival, collective intelligence has fully overtaken raw strength. In the race of speed beneath the ocean, dolphins stand as unmatched champions, reaching speeds of over 30 miles per hour. They move like silver arrows, relying entirely on agility for survival. But today, they face a shadow of their own kind, one that carries overwhelming strength and one of the most sophisticated hunting systems on the planet. The moment the target is locked, the Orca pod deploys a pincer formation. One group maintains steady pressure from behind, wearing down the target's endurance across a distance of more than 5 miles. Meanwhile, the others quietly position themselves ahead, sealing off every possible escape route. Suddenly, one orca surges forward, delivering a powerful hydrodynamic impact with immense force. The strike launches the target more than 10 feet into the air, instantly disabling its ability to respond through a concentrated burst of force. The formation closes with absolute precision, turning the dolphin's speed into a disadvantage against strategic coordination. Here, collective intelligence transforms the ocean into a high-stakes arena where every move made by the orca leads toward an outcome that cannot be reversed. The honey badger charges straight at its target with a short, explosive burst, sharp and defiant. It does not dominate through size, but through grit, speed, and unwavering reactions. Every close approach feels like a direct challenge to anything that stands in its way. The honey badger is formidable, not because it is large, but because it almost never backs down. In the realm of big cats, the leopard represents refined precision. With a muscular build weighing up to 140 pounds, it commands its space through silence, accuracy, and perfectly timed strikes. But today, the figure in its sights is not an unaware young antelope. It is the honey badger, a creature known for its extraordinary tenacity. In a stretch of dry scrubland, the leopard notices a solitary honey badger moving with a slight injury in one leg. To a predator, this appears to be an easy opportunity. But as the distance closes, the pace shifts dramatically. The honey badger responds with intense aggression, pushing pressure back onto its opponent in rapid bursts. That determination quickly neutralizes the leopard's physical advantage. Even when the leopard uses its exceptional climbing ability to gain control, it encounters a remarkable evolutionary trait. The honey badger's skin, measuring up to about 0.25 inches thick, is incredibly loose. This structure allows it to twist nearly 180 degrees within its own skin to counter, forcing the larger predator to abandon the attempt and release its grip. It becomes a costly lesson in limits. Relentless courage has turned the honey badger into a master of survival. It does not simply endure, it turns determination into a force that even the most calculated predators learn to respect. Nature has equipped the honey badger with a remarkable set of biological advantages. These traits shape one of the most tenacious and unpredictable creatures on the savanna. Leaving the dry mounds behind, it moves into the wetlands, a domain ruled by cold-blooded predators. Here, crocodiles dominate with a bite force reaching around 3,700 pounds per square inch. A single snap from those powerful jaws can end an encounter in an instant. Along the brush near the water's edge, the honey badger stays close to the flank, within a blind spot, to limit the sweep of the heavy tail. It executes short, sharp advances, then withdraws quickly the moment the opponent reacts, conserving energy. This strategy allows it to confront even fully grown individuals weighing hundreds of pounds. When the prize is finally pulled into the brush, the landscape once again reflects the rise of resilience. It is more than a meal. It is proof that a sharp mind can overcome even the most formidable natural defenses. Some cravings are powerful enough to outweigh fear. In the natural world, honey is a form of liquid gold, a dense source of energy protected by one of the most coordinated collective defense systems. For the honey badger, the sweet scent drifting from hollow trees is not just food, but an invitation to take on an uneven challenge. When the raid begins, the honey badger faces the full response of thousands of wild bees. Wave after wave of stings builds pressure on the intruder, yet a hide measuring about 0.25 inches thick acts as effective armor, allowing it to endure the swarm. Even under constant stings, it maintains focus, extracting the most nutrient-rich reward. The key to success lies in controlling impulse. It does not linger. Once the reward is secured, it retreats quickly into the shadows. This reflects a practical instinct, accepting pressure to gain energy, but knowing exactly when to withdraw to preserve its advantage for survival. The encounter between a honey badger and a lion stands as a striking example of how courage can bridge even the widest gaps in size. Weighing nearly 20 times less than its opponent, the honey badger carries unique biological advantages that allow it not only to defend itself, but to push forward with surprising confidence, forcing the king of the savanna to hesitate. When the lion blocks its path, the badger does not retreat. It moves in calculated zigzag patterns, turning its small body into a difficult target to grasp. At just around 12 inches tall, its core strategy lies in relentless aggression, directing its efforts toward the most vulnerable points. Each forward surge causes the powerful predator to pause, caught off guard by the intensity of such a small opponent. At the same time, its extraordinary endurance and strong defensive scent begin to test the resolve of even the most dominant hunters. The lion recognizes that the nutritional value of this pursuit is far too low compared to the risk of physical risk from a prolonged struggle that could last for hours. It chooses to step back. The savanna does not favor the weak, but it often unsettles the fearless. And in nature, some of the most striking moments come from unexpected contradictions. Here, a creature weighing just 30 pounds is about to engage in something that seems almost unthinkable. In front of it, the oryx stands like a pair of living blades, with two straight horns reaching up to 47 inches, turning every step closer into a high-risk test of timing and precision. Yet when the honey badger steps in, the oryx's powerful swings lose their effect against thick skin that absorbs impact and allows it to recover almost instantly. Before the tension can settle, the honey badger creates another disturbance, this time in front of a giant weighing up to 13,000 pounds, the African elephant. A single movement from such a massive body can shift everything around it. And still, the honey badger presses forward, as if declaring that determination has its own territory. Being pushed back several feet becomes only the beginning of an even more persistent response. Holding its ground after impacts measured in thousands of pounds, that is the identity of the honey badger. The line between recklessness and survival genius is sometimes no more than a single breath apart. On the unforgiving savanna, there are silent predators armed with venom potent enough to bring down even the king of the plains with a single strike. Cobras and gaboon vipers carry toxins that act directly on the nervous system, overwhelming most creatures. Yet for the honey badger, these feared animals can sometimes become a challenging meal. Facing an opponent capable of projecting venom up to about 8 feet in less than 0.3 seconds, the honey badger chooses a calculated, direct approach. It deliberately enters the danger zone, accepting the risk of a strike to control the snake's movement at close range. Even when a snake positions itself above ground, the honey badger's climbing ability ensures that few targets escape its reach. The secret lies in its remarkable resistance to venom. When the toxin takes effect, the honey badger may become still, entering a temporary inactive state that can last for up to 2 hours. Through unique adaptations in its nervous system, the body gradually neutralizes the effects, allowing it to recover and continue moving. Sometimes, the one that controls the outcome is the one that refuses to step back. And if fear could be measured, this creature carries almost nothing but the will to move forward. For a moment, set aside the image of raw physical clashes. Each ostrich egg is a difficult challenge that nature places before predators on the savanna. Weighing about 3 pounds, the equivalent of roughly 24 standard chicken eggs, it is a massive store of protein protected by a limestone shell about 0.08 inches thick. Its near-perfect rounded structure seems almost impossible for any small jaw to break through. But the honey badger always finds a way to crack the code. Instead of wasting energy on ineffective bites, it uses the landscape as leverage. With its skillful forefeet, the honey badger rolls the smooth egg toward sharp rocks or solid tree roots. Under the combined pressure of repeated impacts, the sturdy shell begins to show its first fractures. At last, the fortress gives way. The reward for patience is a valuable source of energy that helps it endure in one of the harshest places on Earth. Here, intelligence becomes the sharpest weapon of all, turning the honey badger into one of nature's great problem solvers. A sudden dive shatters the stillness, and the struggle for survival begins instantly. Even targets that seem beyond reach are brought under control by strategy and pressure from above. As the instinct to pursue takes over, the sky becomes the stage for its most formidable hunters. In the end, who truly rules the skies? In the natural world, birds are among the most successfully adapted groups of animals. They are found from arid deserts to rainforests, and even the harshest frozen regions. More than 10,000 species have evolved distinct traits to command their own space. Sharp vision, ultralight skeletal structures, and specialized hunting tools create remarkable survival advantages. The sky is never just empty space. It is where ecological order unfolds with every wing beat. Owls are often described as silent phantoms, masters of darkness and space. Beyond their large, light-gathering eyes, they are equipped with specialized feathers that suppress sound in flight, turning every wing beat into a silent approach. Across the snow-covered Arctic, the snowy owl stands motionless, blending into the frozen landscape. From over 100 yards away, it can detect the faint movement of a small rodent beneath deep snow. At the precise moment, its wings open, and its body glides forward without a sound. A controlled strike through the soft surface, and the target is secured. This is how the snowy owl establishes its place as a silent hunter of the far north. As the sun sets, control of the sky shifts to nocturnal owls. With eyes that make up about 5% of their body weight, they gather light far beyond human capability. In territorial encounters, they can even move against powerful raptors such as ospreys or large falcons. No display, no noise. This is how these masters of the night maintain their authority across generations. If eagles are powerful warships with massive wingspans, hawks are the highly agile fighter jets. Unlike the imposing presence of eagles, hawks have more compact bodies, with shorter, rounded wings that allow rapid maneuvering through dense forests, where a 7-foot wingspan would become a limitation. The hunt of the red-tailed hawk is a display of precision. It waits patiently on a high perch, using sharp vision to scan the area before releasing its talons. Its diet is varied, about 60% rodents, 20% reptiles, and the rest amphibians. At speeds of around 100 miles per hour, it can intercept fast-moving bats in midair. Once a target is locked, the angle of descent turns the sky into a decisive arena. Less showy than its eagle counterparts, the red-tailed hawk maintains its dominance through persistence and remarkable adaptability. That is why, across generations, it remains a symbol of keen awareness in the wild. In the 110 degrees Fahrenheit heat of the Sonoran Desert, Harris's hawks face a demanding test of survival. They operate like an aerial wolf pack. When a jackrabbit is spotted, one hawk drives it forward while others position from above. A perfectly coordinated trap takes shape. A final grasp brings the chase to a close, securing the future of these desert hunters. The distinction of hawks lies not in prolonged pursuit, but in moments that arrive faster than reaction time. In nature, sometimes a single cut through the air is enough to redefine the balance of survival. Under the blazing sun of the African savanna, the secretary bird appears like a graceful queen, with long lashes and an elegant stride. Standing over 4 feet tall, it moves across the grasslands with the confidence of a ground-dominant hunter. But that refined appearance can be misleading. This is one of the most formidable close-range hunters on the planet. Rather than relying on its bill, its greatest weapon lies in its long, powerful legs. With remarkable precision, it delivers strikes with force up to 5 times its body weight in an instant. A single well-placed stomp can disrupt a cobra's movement before it can respond effectively. Instead of soaring for long periods, it walks more than 20 miles a day, turning each step into a relentless patrol. In the world of the secretary bird, beauty is not for display, but a veil over a relentless survival instinct. Its elegance is simply the opening note of an outcome that cannot be avoided. In the world of those who command the open sky, the eagle is often called the king of the skies. With a wingspan of over 7 feet and vision about 4 times sharper than that of humans, it can detect movement from great distances and turn open air into a decisive advantage. Its talons, capable of exerting around 400 pounds per square inch of pressure, allow the eagle to maintain control in critical moments. Yet behind that majestic flight are constant trials against wind, water, and rock. Across open grasslands, a lone wolf separated from its pack can become a rare target from above. The moment it leaves its zone of safety, it is tracked and approached with precision. Talons nearly 2 inches long create a powerful grip, leaving the opponent very little time to respond. Even more demanding are the steep rocky slopes rising hundreds of feet high, where an eagle pursues a young mountain goat. Here, a single loss of balance can determine the outcome. The eagle does not prevail through speed alone, but by pressing its target to the very limits of the terrain. Even a much larger mountain goat can be forced to yield under that remarkable pressure. For the eagle, distinction comes not only from strength, but from the ability to endure the harshest tests nature can offer. Under the skies of North America, the American white pelican appears as a slow-moving giant with a wingspan nearing 10 feet. But that unhurried appearance can be misleading. This is a highly refined encirclement specialist shaped by nature. Its most distinctive feature is the throat pouch, holding up to 3.5 gallons, a biological net without equal. Rather than hunting alone, they line up like a coordinated formation, quietly pressing forward and opening their bills to gather both water and prey in a single decisive motion. Their feeding behavior is not limited to fish. To sustain themselves, they may take advantage of unexpected opportunities, including capturing birds weighing close to 1 pound on land. Without tearing, the pelican uses its bill, over 15 inches long, to secure and guide the prey, turning its pouch into a mobile holding chamber. Yet in nature, abundance always carries a cost. While filtering large volumes of water to retain their catch, pelicans momentarily reduce their ability to react quickly. In a brief lapse of awareness, they can fall within the range of a hidden marsh predator, the alligator. In the wild, the line between a successful catch and sudden danger can be as thin as a single moment. Across the vast wetlands of East Africa, the shoebill appears like a creature from a prehistoric age. Standing about 5 feet tall, with a wingspan close to 8 feet, it doesn't rely on speed, but on the steady presence of a hunter that rarely misses its rhythm. Its most defining feature is the massive bill, nearly 1 foot long and about 5 inches wide. Part horn-covered shoe, part precision tool, it is designed for decisive control in critical moments. Most of the time, the shoebill remains motionless. It waits patiently along shallow channels, where lungfish and catfish must rise through oxygen-poor waters. When the moment arrives, its heavy body drops forward in a sudden, controlled strike. The sequence ends within seconds, built upon hours of absolute stillness. This patience makes the shoebill one of the most unpredictable hunters of the wetlands. It does not chase, it stands and waits, allowing the marsh to present the opportunity within reach. The polar bear affirms its presence as a white figure of dominance across the frozen world. Each approach is a reminder that in the harshest places, endurance and precision determine the advantage. Across the endless ice, it remains a symbol of power and enduring survival instinct. If you want to explore more intense wildlife moments like this, press like to show your support. And do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss the next journey.